moment in my life where the Lord brought me to, he's like, all right, you understand unconditional love. Beautiful. That's what I have for you. Apply it. Now I'm going to teach you about unconditional forgiveness.
Wow.
I'm like, I know what you're saying to me, Lord.
Yeah.
I know immediately what you're saying to me, and I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I understand unconditional love, like love. I get that. That leads you to that point of sacrificing yourself. But unconditional forgiveness, you're telling me, I know what that means, because that is over and over.
One thing to sacrifice yourself for someone you love. It's another thing to have someone you love do something you hate to you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So the Lord's been working that through with you. Hey guys, the Jesus Magnet is now partnering with Witness Merch. They've even got a Jesus Magnet tab on their site with our merchandise. Let's check out their video.
At Witness Merch, we're more than just a store. We're part of your faith journey.
Our mission is simple: to provide affordable and accessible Christian merch so you can wear your faith proudly.
Not only do we have a range of trendy Christian merch and gifts, but we also offer customization to reflect your faith.
And above all, every purchase helps gift God's word to others, spreading the gospel message wherever you go.
Hey, welcome back to the Jesus Magnet. I'm your host, Joel, and today we've got Erica with us and your husband, Joshua. He came on the show, last week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then a week later, we schedule you on. And, man, him and I talked about a lot of cool things. Charlie had just died, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of the start of our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just get you to move your mic down a little bit if it's all right.
Here?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
But your husband's heart towards missions,
Yes.
he's a real gentle soul, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think?
He's become, I would say, more gentle through the years. He would probably admit and say that he had more of a chip on his shoulder when he was younger.
Yeah.
And
I got that vibe from his testimony when he was talking about he learned how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
His stepfather taught him how to fight.
Yes.
But then when I'm talking to him, I'm like, you kind of look scary, but you give off the vibe of a teddy bear.
Yes. I have definitely described him in that way.
Yeah.
Much.
So I really like him. He's a good sort.
I like him too.
But it's cool. Yeah. You have to say that. But it's cool to have you on because your story's probably going to merge at some point, because you are mentioned in his testimony, and he goes through the whole thing, which is cool. That's why I like having the other half.
Yeah.
Yes. But he said you have quite a few siblings. Is that right?
I do. I have 6 siblings.
6.
I'm
It's a
number
big family.
2. Yes.
Number 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And were you Filipino, half Filipino?
Half Filipino.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm making sure. I do so many testimonies. I get mixed up with the people.
Yes.
It's a little awkward because people pour out their whole life to me and then I mix them up with someone else. And I'm like, oh, were you the drug dealer or were you, the prostitute? And I'm not really sure. And it's like, nah.
You need like the Rolodex, like, Michael Scott has. Green means go ahead and shut up.
Yes. Basically all the colors mean stop talking. I love that.
Yes. Oh, I hear you.
That's got to be one of my favorite shows, The Office. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've watched it probably 5 times.
Oh.
Like through and through.
Yeah. We've stopped counting because we have teenagers now.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, so are we old enough now to watch this? So of course now there you go again, and we're probably due to watch it again, honestly.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of like good TV out there.
I finished
nowadays.
it this year.
Did you?
Already. Yeah. So I have to hold myself back, give it a year, and then I'm allowed to watch it again.
I actually had to pull back. There was one point in my life I had to pull back from the constant joking, especially that's what she said. It was bleeding into other parts of my life where I was just like, I This is not okay.
What I like about that show, and I know this is a testimony podcast and this is nothing about the testimonies, but I think it's important, is you get a show like The Office, and it's if it was done today, it's extraordinarily offensive. Everyone would be offended. It would be cancelled in 2 seconds. And it kind of came out at the perfect moment, right before it could be cancelled. Like it had such a fan base, and then the woke stuff kind of happened. But you've already got a cult following for The Office, which actually brought us back to like the amount of times he is talking to, who's the black guy, who's always doing his crossword puzzles? Stanley.
Stanley, yes. I was like,
the amount of black jokes he does with Stanley that are so like, he's not actually being racist, but he is so ignorant to like how he's talking about race. You can't really get angry with him for doing that. Like, I mean, you can be offended for sure, but he's not hatefully saying anything.
Yeah.
He's not doing it with any sort of hate. And I think we have turned the page to like, we need to be okay with laughing at each other a little bit and being a bit jokey. And if you're not doing it with hate, I personally don't see it really as racism or other things. Like, we need to be more celebratory of our cultures and colors than colorblind. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
It is interesting. So yes, I'm half Filipino. My dad came over when he was 17 years old and knew very little. His testimony, my parents' testimony, is amazing. And it's one of those like where you, like I was saying, when you look back and you see God like just woven through like the tapestry of our story. I know without a shadow of a doubt that God was like moving in our family. So he came over at 17 and he immediately started working on getting his citizenship.
Okay.
I remember him working on his citizenship. So it took him a while. But my dad is very dark Filipino, and we've been all over. I was born in L.A. His family, actually, a big portion of them are from Alabama. So even like traveling to that area, he has gotten so many different comments all throughout the years. He's been questioned. He's been pulled over. Like, what are you doing here? Where's your card?
Wow.
Like, questioned in that way. So
that's in a hateful way too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up seeing that. Where I grew up in Sacramento, it's the ghetto part. Watton, Alberta is not necessarily like the best place. I grew up seeing like prostitutes and stuff like that. So, but my neighbors, I had Russian, Ukrainian, Middle Eastern, token white, like, my mom is very white. She's Irish, German. Yeah. So race was just something that I grew up with. And I remember seeing my dad get treated certain ways. And he was just always like, some people mean it in a hateful way. Other people they don't know any better, or they have a right to ask these questions. And he just was such a solid man of faith at that time that he was like, just don't let it stop you. Follow the law, do what you know is right, do what you need to do. Yeah. Like, if you get pulled over and they start questioning you about your heritage, whatever, you answer. You don't fight them, especially if you're the one that got pulled over. What were you doing? He was, I don't know. He was just so good about, so when everything came out, it started coming out, like, especially after George Floyd. Yeah. I was so confused, like, in the sense of, well, I'm half white. Does that mean that, like, I am racist? Essentially, like. That's
basically what happened, though.
Right.
It's crazy. And even moving to Thailand here, I have kind of Asian-looking eyes, and I don't know why. My whole family does, but we're not Asian. We don't even have an Asian descendant, ancestor.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, descendant, ancestor.
New word.
We don't have any Asian ancestors, and it's like, we do kind of look a little Asian, like there could be something in there. And the amount of people, friends, that go, are you Asian? Like, do you have a little Asian in there?
Yeah.
And if I were woke, if I were left, it would be like, are you kidding me? Like
That's
why would
offensive.
I'm so offended by
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's like, no, it's a good, curious question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and I wonder it myself.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that, and nobody's asking that in a hateful way. And it's our job. People can be racist for sure, but it's your job is to be like, are they actually being racist?
Right.
Or are they just asking a question about race?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a racist thing. You're allowed to ask questions about race. You don't really look that Filipino, to be honest.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
What would you say I look more like?
I don't know. Maybe like a little bit Colombian, but not full.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I definitely get more of the, not
Mexican
Mexican
maybe.
or Central America.
Yeah.
So my dad can actually trace back in his heritage, the Spaniards coming in.
So there's a piece of you in there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's where the freckles come in and the bigger eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is funny because being on this side of the world, I am, of course, seeing more Filipinos. There's so many Filipinos out here.
Yeah.
Like, talk about missionaries. Like, they're just
There's heaps.
all over, right?
Shout out to Pastor John Mack.
Yes,
and
yes.
his
Actually,
family.
when you said like your eyes, I immediately thought of Pastor Sean from Victory Church.
Yeah.
And he's Sean. He's of the Sean tribe. So, and he has those eyes for sure. But he looks white. Like he looks like he's from America.
It's funny with Pastor Sean. He looks exactly like my brother's brother-in-law, who's a hardcore atheist.
Oh, really?
So it's super weird to see him like preaching, and they look identical. It's scary. And I'm like, and his name's Khan. I'm like, man. So that's what Khan would be if God changed his heart. I'm like, that's what he would look like.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny when we talk about like even Josh and how he looks, right? Did he talk about his brother at all?
Geez, I can't even remember.
So
Maybe.
his brother is the complete opposite of Joshua, but they look very similar. They sound similar, like even like through a microphone, through recording. And he's got the tattoos and everything, but yeah, hardcore atheist.
Wow.
Just like total opposites of each other. And they put out like Instagram content and stuff like that, but it's very opposite. It's very different what they
so
stand for.
interesting.
Like, yeah, it's so,
Yeah.
we have people like that in our lives who are like,
That is odd. Yeah. It's very, very strange. Let's get to your story though. Have you always sort of walked with Christ? Because being in the Philippines, not that you were in the Philippines, right? You were raised in America?
yes.
Yeah. But the Philippines is a Christian nation primarily.
Yeah.
right?
My dad came from a Catholic background. And so, but yes, it's very, you're either a Catholic or you're a Christian. And it's pretty amazing, So yes, grew up in a Christian home. My mom struggled with her faith, didn't really start following the Lord until she had gotten pregnant at the age of 17.
Okay.
And then she basically was like, well, I want to change my life. Like her being pregnant with her first daughter, it was like, I need to be
Changes
better.
something, doesn't it?
Oh, it just, yeah. So she was a narcotic, like pill popper, and she was getting into alcohol. She was and at the time she hadn't been diagnosed with being bipolar, but she just like did the switch. And so, yeah, I grew up in a pretty strong Christian family, but something shifted along the way. I think as my mom regained some memories, and then bipolar, like,
What do you mean
so
regained memories?
yeah, unfortunately she had been molested at the age of 4. And it was something that continued to happen even though she tried asking for help and tried to expose it. It was one of those like, we don't believe you. Back then, we're talking she was 4, so like 70s, like late 60s. That was just not a conversation that people had. There was not a lot of openness of like, oh, there is sexual abuse that can happen even amongst kids. So she was being molested by a foster brother who wasn't much older than her. And so that she wasn't believed because of that. So then the brain does amazing things because God...
A coping mechanism to block out things. And
so she has PTSD from that.
so you're saying your mum sort of started reliving these memories and then decided to blame God?
No.
Or to deny...
It's super complicated. So
Okay.
I was a teenager
Yeah.
when she actually came like to that realization of like, oh, I have all these memories. So grew up in a Christian home, beautiful on the outside. A lot of people thought that we were Mormons because we just had like the big old car. We had all the kids. My mom was this beautiful blonde, blue-eyed woman. We were just so well put together, and we all loved the Lord. So I don't know why people were like, "Oh, you guys must be Mormon." I mean,
Is it all the kids? Do Mormons have something to do with lots of kids? Mm-hmm. They do, eh? I haven't met many Mormons.
yeah, no, it's just the whole idea, like you accept what God's given you. It's also a very like Catholic mentality. You don't deny what God's going to give you. Each child is a blessing from the Lord. And women, specifically in Mormonism, that's like your big duty. That's what you are made to do. So when you get to heaven, you have your celestial body. As a woman, all I would be doing in heaven is having more babies.
What?
Yes.
That's the Mormon belief? Mm-hmm. I did not know
It's something that they don't really talk about. Like, but when you dive into like...
So there's more births and after death.
Yes.
Because Jesus is... I don't know. Do they believe in the... Like, do they read the Bible?
They do, but it's also very twisted. It's changed up. You know, Joseph Smith added his own whole section, and then Brigham Young added his.
Because Jesus is saying, he says, "Do you not know that you will be like the angels, and you will not be given in marriage anymore?"
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It's very interesting when you get into.
But who knows what Joseph said? Smith.
I don't know. I mean, there was nobody there. There was an angel there, but I don't know.
I haven't looked into that. But what happened? Well, he came in like 500 years ago or something like that.
Something
Joseph
like
Smith.
that. Yeah.
So it was pretty like delayed. So like the New Testament was already
everything
in
was
circulation,
already
and then this one guy is like, an angel appeared to me, gave me these tablets. Yeah.
Here we go. I'm going to insert it, and I am the one that's going to give it to you. Like, I am the one that now holds the knowledge.
And then he lost the tablets.
And then somehow, only rely on him. So,
anyway.
Yeah, I know. Our bunny trails.
So your parents were viewed as the perfect family.
Yeah.
Lots of kids.
But inside, there was so much turmoil. Again, my mom was bipolar. But on top of that, she also was responding and doing things that she didn't understand why she was doing. Like, so for instance, if we lied to her, which kids do, you don't need to teach your children how to be sinful. They're going to do it eventually.
That's right. You don't need to teach them how to say no. You need to teach them how to share.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting. And like, I mean, you want to learn about humans. Like, have your own little sinner.
It's funny when they go, "Oh, look at that little angel, that little baby that's just been born," and you're like, "Yeah, that's a little devil until you."
Yeah,
no, it's not a devil.
I mean, but yes, you love them, right? And so we would lie if we lied to my mom, and she caught us. Parents usually it's like lying's not okay, and then you have a consequence that fits the crime, so to speak. My mom would overreact every single time, and she didn't quite understand why she was. So there was a lot of abuse that went on in my house. So a lot of physical, a lot of mental and emotional. And the way that she described it when she started really learning and trying to get healing for herself was that she was trying to beat us into submission or beat us into obeying. If we feared her enough because she would hit us or whatever, then we wouldn't want to do it again. And so it's all being done out of her mentality
Some sort of love.
Yes, and I want to keep you safe, but in the process doing so much more damage. But she thought that's what I need to do in order to keep you safe.
I wonder if that's how she was brought up as well. Because sometimes, well, we all learn things from somewhere. And, often the child, and you, in this circumstance, you are seeing your mum do this sort of thing. But is that how she was brought up? Is this how she understood, how she learned how to behave? And sometimes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We as Christians need to not be shaped from our parents, but be shaped by the Bible.
Yeah.
And if you have parents every parent's going to mess up, large or small.
Right.
This would be on the larger side of probably not how to love your kids. Our job is to shape our worldview from the Bible, that we can break those chains. And when we're teaching our kids that we're teaching from a biblical perspective, not from a parent's perspective.
Yeah.
When we're doing our Bible studies, we always say, hear what we're teaching. But if you agree with us, go to the Bible and make sure that you know why we agree. If you disagree with us, go to the Bible. Go check. Go to the scripture.
Yes.
Go check. And whatever you do, go to the Bible and have that form your worldview. Don't rely on second-tier revelation, but get first-tier revelation. And we finish with, if your pastor, your priest, or your parent have taught you anything in the Bible, or anything at all really in this context, go to scripture and make sure that shapes you.
Yeah.
Primarily, secondary is parents, pastors, and priests.
Yes. So important. Yeah. And that was like a big part of like my heart during that time, especially just because I was seeing all of it. Like as a teenager, you do start putting things together like
And you're the second eldest, right?
I'm second oldest. Yeah. So essentially like raising the younger kids. And so having to have a different mindset of maturity.
What's the age gap between oldest and youngest?
For the most part, the oldest and youngest, let's see. So my sister is going to be 40 this year. And then, I should know this. She's probably, Leah will be 25, I want to say.
Okay.
So my mom was like, quick.
Yeah.
It was like, it was 2 years. I know kid number 3 and kid number 4, there's a 4-year gap between the two of them. And that was odd. My mom thought that she was done by kid number 3. And so then when kid number 4 came, she was like, oh, well, and then 4 more kids.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So my mom's
Why so
journey.
many kids? Was it a Mormon perspective?
No, it was,
She actually wanted.
it's my dad. I would say definitely my dad. He loves kids.
Yeah.
And, very Catholic again, but then it's also very Filipino. Like you have family. And my dad, when he moved over here, he left his family in the Philippines. It wasn't until years later that his mom and then some of his other siblings moved to Alabama. So essentially he's by himself.
Yeah.
So Filipinos, I like to say, like they're just, either you're born into a Filipino family or you're adopted. And once that happens, one of those two, you're never going to be alone. Like, you're always a part of something special. There's always going to be food. There's always going to be jokes. There's always going to be music. In some aspect, karaoke is a big thing. I mean, every Filipino, it seems like they have some sort of musical talent. Either they can play an instrument or they can sing or they can both.
That's right. They're all musical.
Yeah. Or artistic in some way. So creative in some way.
Are you?
So I can play guitar and I sing. I'm not the best, but yes, I can. And so that was like always like, yes, see, I'm a real Filipino, you know?
Nice.
My siblings and I, we all joke about like who's more Filipino than the other. And then they all got the Filipino tag tattoo like put on them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like,
really? Like the flag or something?
Yeah, like just like a little, like, so my dad, I was the first one in my family to get a tattoo, and it was very much like, how dare you? We do not treat our bodies like that.
Yeah.
Our bodies are, a temple of the Lord. And my mom even was like, don't you dare show my children like what you got. I don't want you tempting them or stumbling them. And then a couple years later, I get a text from my dad and he's like, so who's your artist? I want to get a tattoo here, and so he was the first one. Yeah, but it's a cross, but in the form of like a Filipino flag also.
Oh, yeah.
So
I always find it funny, the tattoo thing. I don't have any tattoos. Not because I don't want any. I'm afraid of needles.
valid.
But people they use the scripture, your body's a temple, you shouldn't get tattoos. And then I remember going to Europe into the big Catholic temples and seeing all the artwork all over the walls. And I'm thinking, kind of looks like an awesome tattoo to me. If this is if this is your body, like a temple, and then you've got all the artwork around it, I'm like, I think the people with tattoos and Christian tattoos align with the Catholic thought.
I love
very
that.
well.
I love that. I'm gonna use that. I have not heard that spin. I like that.
Well, let's look at temples. All right, there's a temple.
It's so true. It's so true. Have you heard of kind of that? Here's another bunny trail. Have you heard of like the further that we get away from the Lord, the less creative we become as a society?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right?
Yeah.
When we do look at like things that are like architecture, especially nowadays, it's so simple. Like we gawk and awe and have these beautiful structures all around the world, and we gawk at them because we don't do that anymore.
So true.
Somebody said, I forget who, but I read this in a art magazine where you can look through the years and the amount of art and creativity that we had back, like let's say, like the Notre Dame, right? You're still finding pieces in that where you're just like, whoa, what was the inspiration for that piece?
Sure.
Just that little piece. Now you come all the way, and as you go through the centuries, it just becomes less and less of like choosing to look at something and then see another type of detail. Now it's just this is the design. Yes, there's still beauty in it, but not those like small details.
Have you seen the sculptures, like Greek sculptures? They are crazy detailed.
Right.
Like the fact that someone made that with a chisel.
Yes.
Like
how did you get that?
What is it with the arm? They have where it changes. I can't really do it.
I know what you're talking.
Where the muscle comes in.
With the forearm muscle, right?
Yeah. I think you've got less hair than me, so it's easier to see
all the like tendons, right?
Yeah.
And then being able to show that in marble.
In the marble. Yeah. It's crazy.
Beautiful. And then what did we have a couple of years ago? A banana taped to a wall, and how much did it sell for?
What?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
There was it was an art exhibit, a banana taped to the wall with duct tape.
And an actual banana?
An actual banana.
Wow.
And I think it's Chris Hemsworth where he does a commercial with Chris Pratt. And they're looking at this banana and they're like arguing over like its actual value because it sold for millions. It sold for millions. And then they tried to redo it, like recreate it, like, oh, we can raise some more money or whatever. And somebody like bought it and immediately pulled it off the wall and ate it. Like, this is what I think of your art type thing. Like,
wow.
But that's is that
how
the
far have we fallen?
Right. Like,
I'm kind of embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed to be an artist in today's day and age. Like if you were to be able to go back in time and then that's art.
Right. Comparison, right?
Jeez.
Like the marble to the banana. And again, not all art is like that, but that used to be the standard,
Yeah. Artists were on the equivalent of being a genius back in the day. Maybe, and today, I suppose, with some, for sure. I've seen this lady that can stick pencils in her mouth and they kind of spin around and they're on her face and she closes her eyes and with her mouth, she's moving these pencils and she draws her face again on her face.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like, how are you doing that without seeing?
Yeah.
Like she's got her eyes closed and drawing eyes on her eyelids. It's amazing. And I'm like, I don't know if there's a magic trick here.
Yeah.
Somehow you're seeing what you're doing or someone's guiding it. I'm not sure. But if they're not, how is that not genius?
Right.
Like to be able to remember where you've gone with your strokes.
To
It's
see
amazing.
to see it before it's even done and to know what needs to be done.
And to see it in your mind.
Yeah.
And to get the distances in your mind with the feeling. Have you ever done where somebody's got your back to them and you've got to draw on their back?
Yes.
And they've got to try and draw on a piece of paper what you're drawing on their back and it's like way off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Another
most
one
of us.
that we do is you put a paper plate on your head and you have a pen or a pencil.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
somebody else is giving you directions and you're saying like, okay, in the middle of your plate, draw like a Christmas tree. All right, now to the right, you need to draw like a fireplace and now a stocking, you know, da-da-da-da-da. It's so hard. So I don't know. I don't know how these other artists.
Yeah, they got different brains, I'm sure.
100%.
And that's when I'm like, the scripture says God doesn't favor anyone. And I'm like, I don't know. I would look a lot more like Chris Hemsworth if he didn't. It's like, I'm not sure about that, but nah, he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what Filipinos say. They're like, God loved us the most because he gave us like all the things, which I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I don't know about that, guys.
Let's get back to your story. I love the tangents, but we should try and stay on track.
Sorry.
So you're at home in Alabama, did you say?
No, California.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're obviously struggling with your mum. Did you guys go to church? Did you have much of a... You did have like a spiritual...
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were at church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every youth event, every conference. Big time church. And again, I think it was part of my mom's drive to just be better than what she was. I feel like that has been a good, decent portion of her life is just striving to be better, knowing that she was messed up, knowing that she had done some horrible things.
Oh, so she was quite aware.
Very aware
Yeah.
of what she was doing. She didn't know how to stop. And that's what took her initially to counseling in the first place, where it was like, okay, well, actually you have this diagnosis. So they took her through all the psych, tests and stuff. So here's your diagnosis. And then you're describing that you have these memories, so basically the whole idea is like, people don't just act this way to act this way, yes, we're all sinners, in need of a savior. But there's also reasons why we do what we do, especially if you're going to that extent of abuse, right? Like what's the story behind the story? Like what is it that you're either hiding that you haven't had the ability to confess to, and that's now you're acting out on that, or did something happen to you that you don't know? And so the counselor really helped my mom kind of go down that path. And once my mom basically opened up that Pandora's box once again, just acknowledging like, yes, there might be something. That's when she started regaining memories, and went to her parents, who confirmed it.
Right.
Like, yes, you did come to us.
Did this change the perspective from all the kids? Because they would have maybe seen your mum as this overkill sort of reactions to being lied to and things like that. And then you guys are aware that there's a little bit of a mental illness here. Did that give a bit of sympathy towards her actions, or were you guys still quite...
So in all honesty, it's hard for me to really speak into that, because when you're in abuse, when you're in that environment, I would say like you're still on survival mode. And so at that time, I was still trying to figure out who's right, who's wrong. And so the way that I look at things is with colored lenses, I would say. So from my perspective, or what I received from my mom, was that her parents were not supportive for her, that she was the special case, that if she just believed in God more, that he would heal her, this wouldn't be an issue. And that was something that was told to her even prior to her being diagnosed as bipolar. It was like, you don't need to respond this way. if you had more love, if you had more forgiveness, more faith, you would be better. So because she was that problem child, obviously just you hit teenage years and you have bipolar, your emotions are already all over the place hormonally.
Yeah.
Now let's add this mental diagnosis. Like my poor mom was like, she didn't have anyone. She didn't have that support. She was being moved all around different countries and stuff because my grandparents were missionaries. At that time, my grandpa was a detective for the Navy as well. So he was also being stationed in different places. Mm-hmm.
That's a cool job.
Very cool. He actually was, he helped to begin NCIS, the show.
But the real thing.
But he was part of the real thing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things I, as an adult, again, like still trying to figure these things out because my family is very hush-hush. We need to look right. We need to sound right. We're followers of Jesus. We don't have any mess ups. But then also you add in my grandpa's government job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are missionaries. That was your cover story. Like, right? Like, Grandpa, I want to see like your reports all redacted. Like,
wow.
I'm like, you did stuff. And then you start putting together like, oh, there was this award in your office. You had this, you had that, like all these things that were like pointing to you were big stuff. Like you did some big things. Yeah.
Wow. So with all this in mind, has this changed the way that you parent? Because do you have 2 kids?
I do. I have 2 kids. It's just how it happened. It wasn't because like, oh, I was raising kids my whole life, so I can't, like, I don't want to do any more work. It's just how the Lord led us.
Yeah, true, because your siblings would almost feel like children to you.
Yeah, they were definitely.
One of the oldest.
My mom being bipolar, she was, oftentimes awake when we were sleeping, and then vice versa. So I was already going to my own siblings' parent conferences.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There's one specifically that I went to for brother. Let's see, brother. He's kid number 6. Sorry, no, kid number 5. We always refer to each other like where our numbers are. And I went to his parent conference many times. And my mom one day decided to come. And the teacher was like looking at us and she's like, so who are you? Pointing to my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, oh, I'm the mom. And the lady looks at me and she goes, you're the biological mom. You're the stepmom? Like just trying to figure it out. Because my mom, again, is blonde, blue-eyed.
Yeah.
We're all dark-haired, brown eyes. And then my siblings are all like way darker than me. So my mom just doesn't like fit into that picture. Quite.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see the doubt.
Excuse me, that was gross.
No, you're all right. Have you seen the show Shameless?
No.
Terrible show.
Okay. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. But basically it's about a family. I think there's 6, 7 kids. Dad's a complete alcoholic. Mum ran away. But the oldest, Fiona, is always going to parent-teacher conferences. And it sounds similar to what you're describing. Because you said your mum was in narcotics. Is that right?
Yeah, that was prior to.
Okay.
My older sis, once she found out that she was pregnant, then she tried to cut out that lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I do think.
So she was actually pretty cleaned up by the time she had the
She
kids.
was. And then I think what happened. So it's kind of a sad story. I really see my family, including my grandparents. My grandparents are first generation Christians. And I really do see my grandparents as they tried to go from Catholicism to Christian, and they tried to do it right. But there's a lot of things that can get confused or brought over when you convert in that way. And when you're the first generation, you have no one else. You're the one figuring it out.
So you had Catholic ancestors, and then they switched to Christianity.
Yeah. And so I think a beautiful thing that God does for us is that we all have like those generational sins. And I don't say generational curses. I don't think that we're like doomed with this idea that like you have to figure out every generational curse going way back to the very beginning of your family line. That's near impossible for us to find all those things and speak the name of Jesus over all of that. But generational sin is something that you can see woven through your family. Yeah. Is it alcoholism? Is it abuse of some sort, whether physical or sexual? Is it this, I am a Christian, but I'm a lukewarm Christian? Like, there's so many different things that you can have within your family that is a generational sin. You see it in Abraham. He was a habitual liar. He passed that down to his sons, right? And he tried to work on it. He was called out on it many times, but because he gave that example to his family, they then learned this trait and they themselves acted out on it as adults, knowing this is not how God wants us to act, right? So generational sin, I think, is a thing. And I can see from my grandparents that once they made the decision to follow Christ, without all the religiosity and all the things, they did their best to start breaking some of those generational sins. So my grandpa tried to walk away from alcoholism.
Do you know much about how that change? What was the response from the rest of the family that were all Catholics and then they changed? Like, have you talked to them much about that?
No, unfortunately, because alcoholism was such a big deal. And my grandpa and my grandma and grandpa, I said that, yes.
They were
a lot of their
family.
family,
their parents?
They were alcoholics. So like their family lineage, and they were older. Yeah. And so there's not many family members left. And I remember even their siblings, my grandparents' siblings, dying off when I was a kid. So that that is a huge part of our family's testimony of like how we've lost so much of our own family due to these harsh addictions that just destroy, But at the same time, we can also see the success where my grandpa, he looks amazing still. He looks like he can go back to Scotland, so to speak, and still like wrestle or hang with the guys. He's in his 80s. Yeah. And he's still sound as ever. Yeah. He fights against like the Planned Parenthood. He was part of like the operation where they were the first ones to get into a building and actually record and find show the world, like, here are the things that they talk about behind these closed doors. It's not just this. Here's the proof of it. And he still has that sharp mind, you know. My grandma has been like on her deathbed for 18 plus years. Wow. But she's still here. She's just going through all the quadruple bypass surgeries that she can go through.
All right.
Yeah.
My whole life, so I had all my grandparents when I was born. Mm-hmm. And only up until the last probably 5-6 years, I've lost a couple of them. And my entire life, my mum, sweet lady, she would say, "Oh, this could be our last Christmas with your grandparents." Like, she was trying to say it to cherish the memories and to be, present with your mind and with your memory. But I lived in this perpetual state of my grandparents are going to die tomorrow for 30 years.
Oh my gosh. For 30 years.
And my grandmother, one of them just passed away last year, and I had my son Zion born, and she got to hold him, and then she passed away about 3 weeks later. Oh. So I believe she held on just to meet her great.
Yes.
Yeah, great grand son. Mm-hmm. But no, it's funny now because my mum is the age that my grandparents were when she was saying that they might pass away.
Oh, wow.
So now, as a joke, I say to her, "Oh, enjoy the Christmas, Mum. Might be your last one." And she's like, "Stop it." It's so funny.
Don't speak those words over me.
And now she realizes, whoa, I was thinking they were going to die really young.
Yeah.
And to be fair, my grandparents have outlived most old people. Like, my granddad's 92 this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I mean, we just didn't expect, this awesome linear, like the lifetime that they've had. It's been so long. It's just such a blessing. I can see my parents' fear, but you got to be careful what you say to your kids, because I was living in this weird state of, like, every time I would wave to my granddad, I'd be like, this will be the last time I see him.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be careful what you say to your kids sometimes. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it all right if we pause for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for letting me have a little break. As we said earlier, I had just finished a podcast at 2.5 hours long with 6 podcasters all talking about Charlie Kirk. And I had 2 coffees and water during that. So, yeah, I needed to go to the bathroom. The body can only hold so much liquid for so much time.
Right.
And I'm like starting to jump.
You're like, wait a second. I know this. Yeah.
So where were we? Your mum, I was wanting to know if you've got this view of your mum, and you understand that she's got these mental health issues. Today, now that you know about the mental health issues, do you have like a different view of her, like more grace almost, I suppose, with how she would treat you and the family?
It's a very good question, because definitely you struggle with that. Like, you can remember what it's like to be a teenager and you start realizing all these things. I think I very arrogantly at one point said, oh, when I become a mom, I will do it better. Like, and I said that to some other family members, and they just laughed at me. They're like, you think you can do it better? I'm like, yeah, 100%. And it was with that mentality of like, yeah, I'm not going to beat my kids. Yeah, I'm not going to yell at them or like discipline them, like overreact to all these things. I'm actually going to be involved in their life and stuff. And I think it was around 17. My mom, the previous year, had handed me the book Boundaries. And she was like, you need to read this because you are going to be a better mom than me, but you need to start, and I don't know how to teach you. And so she had handed me this book, and I'm reading it, and it actually opened up my eyes to, oh, yeah, there's a lot going on. And so I realized at a fairly young age that my mom was broken. I never said the words, my mom is crazy. It wasn't until I was like about 19, 20, 21 in that area where I was like, what my mom did was wrong and how my dad allowed it was wrong. And when you go through like a healing journey, your emotions go from being mad at the perpetrator to being mad at the one who condoned it, to then, asking yourself, well, what could I have done better? I'm guilty of allowing this to continue on because I had the younger siblings under me. So I've like gone through all of those things, but it was in my early 20s that I was like, I'm going to know who my real mom is when I get to heaven. And I can genuinely say that I feel like I fully like forgave my family as a whole. And I say my family because even when I got married to Joshua, who is a total teddy bear, as we talked about earlier, my family didn't come to my wedding. They didn't like Josh. They thought that we were in total rebellion against them. And it was mainly because...
Like your whole family?
My whole family. So I did have one uncle and his family. They did come. They ended up leaving early in my wedding because my grandma ended up having a total emergency. It was one of those moments where my mom was like, you're never going to see your grandma again. And my grandma that day had her first quadruple bypass surgery.
Wow.
Yeah, that day.
On
So
your wedding
I'm like
day.
standing there at my wedding going, what do I do? Do I call off my wedding? Do I go to the hospital? What do I do?
Yeah. What did you do?
I didn't end up going because my grandpa called me and said, she's in surgery. She's okay. God's going to get her through this. Celebrate your day. Like, this is your day, which was already hard as it was. Cause I'm like, but none of you are here. It was a celebration, but not, So I really do. I really had to go through that whole phase of forgiving my family.
Wow. That's interesting that your family saw you guys as like rebellion with So you said they didn't like Josh?
They didn't like Josh.
He's so easy to like, though.
Very much, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I
Like, was he
became
different?
infatuated with him like in my freshman year, and
Is he different now than he was?
no,
How long have you been married?
we've been married 18 years.
18 years. Okay.
Yeah,
But he's always basically been like he is.
like he is. I mean, I was attracted to him because of his heart for the Lord. Everyone knew that he wanted to be a missionary eventually. I think it was his senior year. He got the like most servant like award. Like, this is who he is. This is how he's always been.
So what, did they want someone more,
He rocked the boat, in all honesty.
in what way?
So he comes from a family of recovered alcoholics.
Yeah.
So he grew up going to like AA and knew the big book. He knew all the things. He knew dysfunction. He knew unhealthiness. He had lived through himself, like through abuse. You know, his background is pretty rough as well. So when he came into my family, he was one of those people where he thought, oh, you guys are a good family. You know, he had told me at one point, like, I never want to date a goody two shoe, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's not me. Like, I know that you think that, everyone thinks that, but that's not who we are, you know? So when he came into the family, he was pretty shocked at what actually was happening. And because he spoke out about that, my mom felt like he was changing who I was, when really Josh was the freedom to actually start saying these things and start taking action.
So not covering him, not sweeping it under the mat.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And, you know, we talk about in the process of healing, you have a boat. And my family is very ingrained. So everybody is in this boat, right? And you have that one person that chooses to say, this is not right. That boat starts rocking. You know, that person isn't passively sitting in this boat making sure that everybody is floating down the river. That person's probably standing up and saying, no, this is wrong. So you got to, you know, you get that mind, that picture of like that. Now the boat is like doing this, right? It's teetering. What does everybody else in the boat do? They have two choices. They either stand up and start rocking the boat with you, or they tell you to sit down. They tell you to be quiet. They tell you, like, jump out if you need to, like, you're not going to tip us over. So that was really the mentality of my family.
Okay. So you've been married 18 years. Has there been any sort of reconciliation with that boat rocking mentality over the years? Because you've got two kids, you know, you're talking grandparents, cousins.
Oh, man. And, you know, it's really difficult. It's no, there's not much reconciliation, unfortunately. As a parent and as a daughter, where I wanted there to be that reconciliation. We serve a God that is all about restoration and redemption. And there's so many stories in the Bible where you see that he brings the family back together. And then he talks about, like, don't even serve me or worship me until you've gone and fixed your issues first, right? So I struggled with this big time. But unfortunately, I have to liken it to when somebody chooses to live in sin. You can walk alongside them if you are able to not sin with them, right? But you can walk alongside them. However, with the case of like my family, it's more than that, because there is such a pool of do what we do. And if you don't do what we do, then we're gonna, the abuse continues, so to speak.
Is your family all, would you say, walking with the Lord?
So I will never condemn my family to say whether or not they are or aren't, but I do look at the fruit. I was raised in a Christian home. The first three, we have a very good understanding of the Lord. And I think what happened was when my mom started getting healing for herself, unfortunately, medication is a thing that comes into play. And I think she fell back into some old habits. And there's a term within the psychology world where you're like, you can get fired by your counselor if you're not doing the homework, if you're not making the progress that you need to be making. And so I think my mom started kind of abusing the medication and using her counselor to make herself feel better, but didn't want to be held accountable. And then she played the part of that narcissistic, kind of like I'm a victim. I'm a victim, and fell into that mentality.
Mindset's rampant over America, victim mentality for
Big
sure.
time. And so like by the time that the final four started coming of that age of like really starting to choose to walk with the Lord themselves, they all have struggled with that. And so my family still goes to church. My siblings do. My parents do not. And it's been really sad to see them
Your parents
like walk
don't go
away.
to church?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No. And see, and that's what I mean. Like my dad, what I learned from my dad was just so valuable. Like how I used to balance a checkbook. We don't balance checkbooks anymore, right? He would just show me. He's like, it's never going to add up. Watch. Here's what I made. Da 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 da. Here's all the things I have to pay. Here are the taxes. Da da da. It's never going to add up, right? He's like, but watch this. I write out my tithe check first. And everything gets paid. He's like, I don't know how it happens, but every time, Erica, I am faithful to give back to God what he gave us. And that's like one of the biggest financial pieces of advice from my father that I received as a teenager that I will never forget, and I will never compromise on that. Yeah. But it was so cool to see him do that. And I just don't see that same faith in him anymore. Yeah. That spark of being awed by the Lord is not there anymore. And
what do you think it was that like burnt him out? Or
I think it was my mom.
Yeah.
I think the abuse, like he is a very codependent, passive man. And I like to speak on like the rules of a man and what God designed men to do. And of course I'm not a man, so I can't speak to it to like the nth degree and like I have all the right points, but my dad didn't run the house.
Well, men are designed to lead. I think a man's love language is respect.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
If you do not respect your man, if you don't respect your husband, you transform his ability to love properly.
Yes.
And to grow as the leader of the house. Like the way that God's designed husbands and wives, they have very different roles. The Bible says that it's the wife's job to love the husband.
Yeah.
It is the husband's job to love the wife, but it's the wife's job to respect the husband. That's in Corinthians. And I find, Laura and I talk about this all the time, that as if you, I don't know if I should use this. I'm going to use this example, but I'm not going to say where I heard it from.
Okay.
Because it is somebody that I know very well. But Laura and I were at lunch with these two people. And basically the wife said to the husband, he sold his business and got totally ripped off and is the worst person in business, my husband, not me. This is like the other guy. And that, he should never really do business. But saying this in front of the husband. So there's four of us there, me and my wife and then another couple. And Laura and I were driving home. And I remember saying to Laura, I said, if you ever talk about me or to me like that, we're going to have a serious conversation. Because I've never seen a man so crushed.
Yeah.
I said, that's how you crush a man. And there's no respect. Like, even if he isn't good at business, even if that's true, you don't say that. And you don't say it to other people in public, devaluing and belittling your husband. You just don't. Even if it's true, you just don't. And the Bible talks about a wife is the crown.
Yes.
That sits on top of the husband's head. That was not a good crown. That was a moment, and to be honest, if you're not a good wife, you're the one that sits on his head. Like your job, what does a crown do? it makes the person who's wearing it look good.
Yeah.
So as the wife, your job is to make the husband look good, to uphold him and to esteem him and to build that that leader, that godly figure in him. That's the only job of a wife in relation to the husband. I mean, there's many jobs, but in this context, it's so important. And like Laura and I've done many business ventures and I've failed many times. But Laura never says, "You failed, Joel."
Right.
She
There's
goes,
such a
"We
difference.
failed."
Yeah.
We either win together or we lose together. It's not because it was my idea. Now we failed.
We failed.
I also don't do a business venture unless we're both on the same page.
Mutual respect.
And yeah, it can crush a man.
100%.
I feel for you, Dad.
Yeah, I do too. Like, again, like going through this different, waves of emotion. I can look at both of my parents and I can say, dang, like, you guys, I'm so sorry. You have a lot. Like, you have a lot on your shoulders. And I do pray that one day they will get like full healing. Like, I would love to see that here before I see it in heaven, but it takes some great humbling, and my dad, unfortunately, is like he's a functioning alcoholic now. And I think that was something that was always there. Filipinos are known for drinking, and being Asian, like, it doesn't matter like how your stature or anything like that to Filipinos. It's like, no, I'll still outdrink you, And so that was something that my mom did speak a lot about as kids, and my dad worked hard on. And he still doesn't like drinking around her, but he definitely has the hidden bottles of whiskey, of bourbon in the garage, and so it's apparent.
Do you think going through these, like seeing these examples, negative examples, has basically you've learned from it for now you and Joshua and your kids? Like, you've seen the worst of alcohol, the worst of mental health, and not talking to each other, not communicating, not putting God first. You've seen what it can do, and has that shaped how you walk with your family now?
100%.
Yeah, like it's quite a contrast. Like,
Very.
you've broken those. That if this was a generational chain,
Right.
you've broken that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's everything that, when we came together, before we were even like talking marriage, it was, this is my hope. This is my dream for myself right here, right now. This is what I'm currently working on with God right now. This is what he's showing me.
Yeah.
And I'm seeking accountability in these things. And so it started there. And we were like, wow, that's cool that you're of like that same mind, that like you're going to be a better, person.
I always think that with my parents, who were amazing. But my dad always says, man, whatever I do, I hope you do better.
Yes.
It's like, not out of a competition thing, but out of, he hopes that I've started with a head start because I'm starting with the knowledge that he had.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the story of the two twins?
The
two twins, the one set of twins, I should say. The twin brothers that were, I believe this is based off a true story of twin brothers in Las Vegas. Their one was a huge alcoholic, drunk, gambled his whole life. And then the other is extraordinarily successful and never touched alcohol and never went gambling, but invested wisely, worked really hard. He's got the car, got the house, got the wife, goes to church. And they interview these twins and they say, why do you think your lives turned out this way? And the twins have the same answer: because of my father. And their father was an alcoholic. And I ask that because you're one of 7.
Yeah.
Do your siblings, did they turn out running hard for the Lord? Or was it something that they avoid, or is there a mixed bag?
There's a mixed bag. So the youngest, she's like, no, I'm an atheist. Yeah, she has greatly just walked away from the Lord. And then my oldest sister, she's actually begun her journey of healing. And so she's where I was probably like 5-10 years into my healing journey, where she's still trying to be a part of the family, but she's, the black sheep and, the target, but she's holding on to the Lord. And that's what's keeping her there in that midst, because she's just allowing him to be the one that's propping her up, And then all the siblings in between, they're the ones that go to church on Sunday. They're the ones that will say the prayers over their food. Like it's very Christianese.
Religiously.
Yeah.
But not
relationship wise. Not.
I mean, maybe they do, but
it's so hard to say. They see Josh and I as radical and more godly than.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But it's also kind of like thrown at us, like you don't understand. You can't possibly don't try to speak into this because you're just going to ask me if I've read my Bible. And it's like, yeah, that's not who I am, but okay.
Already put into a box.
Yeah. Well, 100%. Yeah.
It's a good box though.
I think so.
Your atheist sibling, sister?
Sister.
Is there something that you would want to share with her if you could?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the event she comes across this episode.
Yeah, I did. It was beautiful. She's with a man, her partner. They have 2 kids now, and beautiful. So he's actually Mexican, and so the mixture of just
that's
just
an awesome mix.
Beautiful kids. And when she first got pregnant, my family was like, he's not even a Christian. So they have these very high standards. It's very religious.
That's so interesting.
They just don't I don't know. It's so complicated.
All these rules that they get from God, but almost it's almost the plank in their eye looking at the speck in other people's.
Yes.
It's almost that, isn't it? From what I'm hearing.
Yeah. From what you're hearing. It's so complicated in this way.
I think a lot of people think like that. It's not just your family. I think it's quite everywhere.
I would definitely say I think a lot of people that you don't understand the power of mental illness. My mom is not just bipolar. She's also personality split disorder, which is incredibly difficult to diagnose.
Schizophrenic or
you can be, and she does have the multiple personalities, and it comes out in super super dark moments of her being triggered.
Can she hear a different voice?
I hear a different voice. Everybody hears a different voice. She goes into a different mode. 100%. It is.
No,
eerie.
I mean, have you asked her about it? When she's thinking,
she.
You know how we have the demon on our shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder.
Yeah. I've never asked her that question. She has admitted that there's she has that pull, I guess, of she sees herself as. Have you seen the movie Split?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how he has that young kid, and they each have their own personalities, and they all each embody who he is as one person.
Yeah.
So my mom has discussed that she sees a weaker younger version of herself versus the super tough. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's meant this is the brain.
That movie Split had McAvoy, is that the guy's name? Something like that. That actor. I think he's got 13 personalities in that movie, something like that.
And I think they discovered more.
But
in
he had
the
actually,
follow-up.
but he had actually done scenes with up to 40.
Whoa, really?
What a talented actor!
Very talented.
To play somebody that can switch.
Yeah.
So clearly into a different character.
I've always wondered, what kind of headspace are you in prior? How much practice do you give yourself? And then how, does that do a number on you? How long does it take you to get out of that?
Yeah.
Afterwards?
Are you paid for each character?
That's the question. That's good.
Have you seen
one get paid?
Have you seen Orphan Black?
No.
That's a really cool TV show. You should watch that. It's
Orphan
about
Black.
a lady that finds out she's actually a clone.
Oh,
Because she runs into somebody that looks exactly like her.
okay.
And then finds out she's like part of this experiment. There's heaps of, they're just kind of scattered around the earth. But she plays each person. And they're full on characters.
Yeah.
But she technically plays like at least 15 different people. Very different looking, like different hairstyles and everything, but it's all her. And I'm thinking,
That's amazing.
I hope you're paid extra for every extra character you have to play and perform as. But I don't know if she did. It's very talented.
That's a very good question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shows the capacity of actors. Like, you sort of, you think they're just, must be the easiest job in the world, just pretend.
No.
But nah, not when it's like on that level.
Yeah. I mean, even like we talk about like Heath Ledger, I think that he still was one of the greater actors for Joker.
Phenomenal performance.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely went to a dark place.
Because of it.
Yeah.
And so.
That it killed him. Yeah.
Right. So if you have that ability to like basically split yourself into all these different personalities and convince people like
that's one thing I'm wondering about with your mum. A friend of mine, I share this story a lot on the podcast, so I do apologize for any of our listeners that are hearing it for the umpteenth time. One of my friends, his name's Remy. He's come on our podcast twice, but he shared this one time that he came on. He had been, his whole life, he had struggled with lust, always looked at women and just, all these bad thoughts and things like that. And then he went to a prayer meeting, and then what happened is he was praying and then it went black, and then he just woke up. And then basically a whole lot of people around him praying over him. And he's like, what happened? And they said, well, basically a demon manifested in you, and now it's not in you. And he said when he woke up and he looked around, he said, for the first time, my mind was silent.
Oh, wow.
He said, I thought that these thoughts, that when I would see these women, that was my thoughts. That's why I'm asking if your mum hears thoughts or has different voices. And he said that the little demon on your shoulder, the cartoon, Demon and Angel, is scarily accurate.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there's something else there with your mum getting molested when she was younger, opens a door for the habitat of demonic realms.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think as a Christian, you and me both, that's when we have to be like, almost like an abundance of grace to recognize none of this could be her fault. Maybe it is, but it also might not be.
Right.
And to like recognize that, and that's why we need all this abundance of grace. Pray over her, that sort of thing. Because who knows, we might get to heaven one day and she's like, I didn't even know that it wasn't my thoughts. Like think like these actions like that she was doing could, dare I say, possession. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be true. And she won't know until she's been pulled away from those entities.
Right.
It could be controlling her like a puppet, more than you think.
More than it's crazy because it's like, so that's where my grandparents kind of come in, and they've like through the years they've pulled back from telling her like if you only had enough faith, I think again from them like learning and walking this life with the Lord, like he does reveal himself to you more and more. Like I think we oftentimes will be like, oh, I figured it out. And then a couple of years later, you're like, oh, I kind of spoke arrogantly about that, So I've watched my grandparents pull back, and we've sat down and we've had many discussions about it. With my mom, I've watched her actually go through deliverances.
Okay.
the church that we went to prior to Calvary, which is a non-denominational church, we went to a Foursquare church. And so you run into a lot of like charismatic and Pentecostal.
Sorry, I think this is the second time I've heard that. A Foursquare church?
A Foursquare church.
Foursquare is a supermarket in New Zealand.
Oh, is it really?
What is this?
It's a church. I mean, honestly, I don't even know like how that one came out to be. I just know that there are a lot of like.
You said it's non-denominational though. So
No. Calvary is non-denominational.
Right.
The Foursquare church it's known as being more. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It has more of the background of being charismatic and hitting more on the Pentecostal.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
And so I've watched my mom go through many deliverances, giving birth to demons and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like Baratheon, Game of Thrones. I don't know if you've watched Game of Thrones, but that happens.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. So literally her being held and in that position, she's totally clothed.
Yeah.
But being held in this position of you need to get these demons out. And if they don't come out this way,
They
you
come out
birth
the
them.
other way.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm telling you, I would put my money, not that I'm a betting man, but I would put my money on. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more going on spiritually.
100%.
Than just for our listeners, when they're thinking that we're overly judging somebody, I think it's important for us as Christians to recognize all we see it's like being blind, physically blind.
Mm-hmm.
How much can a blind person perceive the world? Not much.
Mm-hmm.
They can hear, they can smell, they can touch, but if they could just open their eyes, they're like, whoa, I can see the world for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are almost blind, and there's a spiritual, a sixth sense. We got 5 senses, right? A sixth sense that Jesus walked in for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Could see demons, could see the spirit, could see that, and what he was seeing was way different to what we see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced of that. Even in the first demon that Jesus exorcises in the book of Mark, he says, I pull out this I get this demon out of this person, and he says to the demon that you are never allowed to enter that person again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whoa, I never think of it like that. If I was to exorcise a demon out of you, if the demon left, I would not expect it to come back. But he's very specific. He says you are not allowed to go back.
Yeah.
And then there's scripture that says, what's the point in exorcising a demon out that it come back with many more spirits and fill your body again? And it's like, whoa. It's I feel for you, Mum.
Mm-hmm.
Really, more than not on a judgment of she made some bad choices and mental health and all that. I think there's a lot more that probably has happened. And even in the book of Mark, you've got, it's in all the Gospels, you got that little boy that when the demon comes upon him, he has these seizures and it throws him around and tries to throw him into a fire and tries to drown him and things like that. The dad describes to Jesus.
Yeah.
Sounds like epilepsy.
Yeah.
Like a disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we might even have these disorders and we're trying to treat it with this and that, but it's actually spiritual.
Yes.
So even with your mum with these mental health issues, she's got all these issues and we're trying to treat her with these medications, but it could actually be spiritual.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
And I think, so that's one of the things that I've really seen in Thailand is the spiritual realm here, the veil is so much thinner because they already acknowledge.
Oh, it's everywhere.
They acknowledge it.
Yep.
The difference in America is, yes, you run into somebody that has some mental issue. Well, this medication, you take this and it will help you. We just cover it up with, a lot of it is with medication.
Here's a Band-Aid.
Yeah,
or your
exactly.
gushing wound.
Right. And then, the sad thing is, so something with my mom, I've always wanted to go to to her like appointments, her medical appointments with her, because I specifically want to ask the doctors, what are you giving her, and how do you know that this one doesn't counteract this one?
Yeah.
We don't talk about that in the medical world. We just say this is what you need because you have this diagnosis. Great, she has several diagnoses. What you're doing may not even be helping, but in fact, putting a Band-Aid on or making it worse, you know?
Yeah.
And again, that's like one word I feel like I've really had to kind of like toe this line of what is spiritual? What is that spiritual warfare? And then what is like reality? You know,
Yeah.
which one is it my mom responsible? Do I give her everything? You know, for me, it was the line of when I saw her like starting to abuse my kids that I was like, I can't.
I don't think there's a full, like, it's not her fault. I don't think it's that. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a partaking, maybe an unknowingly partaking, in the same sense that I had my idiot friends when I was 13 years old convincing me to partake in marijuana. Mm-hmm. You know, they sort of convinced me it's kind of their fault, but it's my fault too for being that susceptible to that persuasion.
Right.
So I think your mum would be under that. If I were to put my money on it, would be she was persuaded to act like that, thinking it was the right choice.
Right. And it's very interesting with my family. I think one of the reasons why I am pushed out so often is because I choose to speak about it so often in the sense of the spiritualness. Like you guys, I believe, because she'll tell everyone. And one of the beautiful things, I guess, not beautiful, sarcastic, about a split personality disorder is that you tend to convince everyone else around you. You almost, in a sense, give them a different persona themselves, and they all fall for it. And so I've been asked by psychologists before of like, how are you so different? How do you have your own life? Number one. Number two, how are you not messed up from the constant manipulation, the constant games that are played on you from somebody like that? And it's like, it's all the Lord, 100%. It's all the Lord. And so my siblings are pretty convinced that I don't believe that she has these mental things. And it's part of that victim. Like if you agree that I have these things, then
now I have an excuse. I
have an excuse, and you should have all the grace. You should have all the forgiveness for me because you are a Christian. You've been baptized, you know? And it's like, I'm not saying anything against that. But what I'm challenging you in is, what if this is spiritual? Have you heard of Carolyn Leaf?
Nope.
She's this beautiful, brilliant woman that has truly studied the power of the mind, the power that our bodies have over our everyday circumstances, really. She has this book called Take Control of Your Mind, and it really hits on the whole idea that God says, what's the first thing he tells us that we need to do when we do spiritual warfare? He says, fix your mind. Fix your mind on what?
On Christ, on heaven.
When we're anxious, or when we're like, what's the next thing? What's going on? When we're believing all those different lies, that does something to us.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, you know? And so how do we possibly go out into the world and even again, fight against these other powers, principalities, when we ourselves are not taking control of our own minds and reminding ourselves, I am not a victim in this world. I have the power of Christ. That compels me. That gives me the ability to overcome this, and this. I'm not saying my mom needs more faith, but it is like, if you owned, yes, I have these issues, but yes, I'm also going to take like active control over myself and be accountable for my actions.
Do you watch Jordan Peterson much?
I mean, yes and no. My family's big on him for sure. So
really?
I hear his stuff. Yeah.
Hey, that's great. Like your family is in like Joshua and your kids?
And my daughter. So I think he had mentioned like Charlie Kirk was huge for my family, especially for my daughter. It's been especially difficult for us because we're watching our daughter really mourn. But yes, so we choose to listen to Peterson as well.
Yeah, he's great. He says to become the monster, which I found such an interesting perspective, and I couldn't agree with it more now that I've heard him explain it. And it's, you want to not be a victim where you're weak.
Yes.
And you are incapable of lifting heavy objects or incapable of getting yourself out of a situation. You want to become a monster, but be a monster under control.
Yes.
You're not saying to be out of like rage and out of control, but you want the ability to be strong. So Jesus is the perfect example of, he shows he has the power to go into heaven. He has the power to cast out demons. He has the power to split the Red Sea. He has the power to walk on water. He has the power to calm storms. Yet when he withdraws his power, so it's not that he's got all this power and anger and that he's out of control. It's that it's all under control. We definitely need to, if you're thinking of it like a victim, you're never going to be able to get yourself out of anything. Jordan Peterson says to rise to the challenge. He believes that everyone has the potential and that the ceiling in your life is never hit.
Yeah.
That you can rise out of whatever it is you're in. And it's a shame when people think that just because you're saying, I believe you can get out of this mental illness, just because you're saying that, because what's the alternative? The alternative is you have a mental illness and you are stuck and you will never, ever be okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you believe that, it's true.
Yeah.
But it's better to believe that you can get out of it and that you can rise above it.
Yeah.
And that you can pray and you can fast and you can even get medication and help and get discipled and all of that sort of stuff. And you can rise above it. It's better to believe that potential that is within you, because then it becomes a possibility. But without that belief, you're 100% right. You will never get out of it. What do they say? Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. And that holds true. So you're saying that you're saying to your siblings that you believe that your mum could get out of it. And they're thinking that translates to, you must not think she has an illness. And that's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying she has an illness, but I believe she's a conqueror.
Exactly.
That's what you're saying.
So you asked me earlier if there's anything I could tell my younger sister, what would it be? It was those exact words. She was at this point ostracized from the family and being held to this standard that even, it's like, this is so hypocritical, you guys. Like, one, she's not even following the Lord. Like, we're supposed to come alongside her, not ostracize her that much more and then tell her, like, you're going to hell. Like, do you want her to abort her child? Would that make it better for you? Like, what is this? So I sat down with her. The previous year, she had actually driven from Sacramento all the way to Santa Cruz. It's only a 3-hour drive, but she was with her boyfriend at the time and was like, I want to hear your side of the story. Like, what is, like, I've only heard what mom tells me, and I think something's off. Like, she started putting it together, like, think for myself. That's where she started pulling away from the family. So she kind of started rocking that boat. And that's why then she found herself in that position where here she is pregnant and the family's like, yeah, we can't deal with you. You don't fit the mold of what our boat needs to look like. So get out. And by me showing up, the only family member showing up to just her baby shower, that spoke volumes to her. And she was like, again, this is opposite of what I've been told you are my entire life. Like, what is this? And I'm like, I believe that you are deserving of grace. Like,
yeah,
I love you, and the picture that you've been given of who I am is not true. This is what I believe. And I think that if you apply this to yourself, your life will be fuller than. What kind of mom do you want to be? And
you also believe that everyone's has their capability made in the image of God to be a champion.
Yes.
You can conquer whatever the Goliath is in front of you, whatever
100%.
giant that lays in front of you, you can conquer that. But it's to have a mindset of doing it with God. And how do I do that? So just because you've got this Goliath in front of you doesn't mean you need to bow down and be like, well, I'm done. This is it.
Right.
You know, that's awesome that you showed up to your sister's baby shower and things like that. Like showing the love, because maybe she did mess up. Let's say she did.
She did.
She's probably hearing this right now and going, ugh.
I love you.
Look, we all mess up though. We're not
100%.
saying you're bad and I'm good.
Yeah.
When you say that, you're saying you messed up. I've messed up before. You've messed up before.
Yeah.
We've all messed up before. That's why we need grace. That's why we need God. But I don't like this analogy because Bill Gates said it, I think.
Oh, no.
But he says, I think it was Bill Gates, or Robert Kiyosaki. He said, everyone's born, it's your choice. It's not your choice how you're born, rich, middle class, poor, but it's your choice where you die, rich, middle class, poor. Let's flip that to like God.
Yes.
It's not your choice if you were dealt a bad hand and you're a victim and you've got mental health or you've been raped or if you've got a truckload of issues. We live in a horrible place. But if you die in that same place, you can find the Lord. If you found this podcast, this is Lord saying, I'm real and this is, I love you. This is what I have for you.
Yeah.
It's our choice to rise to the champion that God has made us as an image bearer of Him.
Amen. Yeah.
That we are not victims.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a controversial thing to probably even state, but it's true. If you believe you're a victim, you are.
100%.
If you believe you're not, you can get out of it.
You can get out.
Yeah.
That was me. It was the age of 16. My mom had one of those moments where I guess like more of like a clear mind. I grew up with my mom studying the Word of God. Like she was in her room. Usually it was a dark room. And I didn't see her usually like on a day-to-day basis. But when she was up, when we knew that she was awake in her room, she was always surrounded by all the Bible studying tools, commentaries, concordances, study Bible, like, and all open. She'd be studying. And I loved when she would come out of her room and be like, look at what I just discovered.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. And again, like raised in a good Christian home. And she came out to me one day, I'd come home from school, put my stuff away, come out to the hallway to like go down the stairs. And she's standing there and she's like, this is for you. And it's my name. And I'm like, I'm just looking at this like little sticky note that she's handed me. She's like, I just kind of was praying over you today and asking like, God, what is Erica? Who is she? Like, what is she? And he gave her the definition of my name, which Erica, depending on like where you go to like find the definition of my name. So if you go to like the actual Hebrew name, which I'm like, that's not really a Hebrew name, but okay. The Ka at the end, the Ka has like that Hebrew significance. It's the strong, she's a strong tower. And so she gives me that and she goes, and then this is your life verse that goes with it. And it's Habakkuk 3:19. He will make my feet like the feet of a doe, and basically capable to walk the high hills. I remember just receiving that from her. I'm like, one, this is like so not the norm.
Yeah.
Number two, what does that mean? Like, like I know you want me to be the strong tower for the family. I've already been put in that place of like, you're the reason why this family is still standing. It was my life was very that 50-50 of like, you're the reason why we're still standing because you're of sound mind. And then the other was, we need to break you because you're still thinking for yourself.
Yeah.
It was weird. So to get that, like you're a strong tower and then you're going to have feet of a doe. I'm like, what the heck? And that was, but at that time, and then it wasn't long after that, she handed me the boundaries book. And I clearly heard the Lord that day. It was like, I am your parent now. I will show you how to walk the hills with, the feet of a doe.
Yeah.
And that's where I started even more so pulling away from the family. But that's really where the Lord was like, this is not your life. You are not going to be subject to this, but you have to be willing to take those steps first. I will show you, I will build your feet into these, the feet of a doe.
Yeah.
And when you look at like doe feet, have you ever wondered, like walking away from that day,
Like the hooves.
yeah, like the hooves, yeah. Just
Yeah.
like how do they stand on these sheer cliffs?
It's like walking in high heels.
Yeah.
Like just hard. Although
How do they not lose their footing as they're climbing, jumping? Like you watch like when deer jump, they jump quite high and quite
I've seen
far.
videos of like jumping from canyon to canyon.
Yes. And then
crazy.
then it leads you to the feet of a goat, like the mountain goats and stuff. Incredible animals, and the way in which their feet have been designed by our Creator helps them to stand, to position themselves in a way where they're not going to be moved, despite the fact that they're on.
One of the biggest scripture that I've been perplexed by for many years is the scripture that says, when God comes and basically raptures us, but he will split us into the goats and the sheep.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking there must be there must be like the believers and the disciples, and surely the disciples are the sheep because the sheep know my voice. But I've been thinking about that going, I'm not sure. And this is like just, maybe it's something that the Lord just said to me, is like, how the scripture can have many meanings for you, but it's maybe not in context.
Yes.
I think what the Lord was saying to me was, maybe we should be aiming to be a goat, because a goat can go. Have you seen a sheep try to do anything? They're so stupid.
He likens us to that stupid.
I know. Yeah. It's not a flattering comparison.
No.
But the goats, on the other hand, go to the most difficult places imaginable. They're scaling vertical walls, like way up in the mountains. So if you're split between the sheep and the goats, I'm wondering if the sheep are the ones that are just the believers, but the goats are the ones that go to the dangerous places where nobody else can go. And I'm thinking maybe that's what it is. Maybe like missionaries and things like that, people that are like separating themselves from believers, the sheep, but they're going to these crazy places. And I'm not sure if that's what the context of the scripture is saying, but that's what I got out of it just the other day when I was reading it. And I was like, maybe I'm a goat because I'm not in New Zealand. I'm not in comfortable. I mean, to be honest, I'm in a pretty comfortable house, but I do go to outreaches and things like that, and out of your comfort zone, out of like just going to church and back home and work and hang out with friends and basically live on autopilot your entire life. Or are you living like, Lord, where do you want to take me next?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And it would be fun to do definitely a strong study into that.
Yeah. I don't think that's the context of what it's saying, but it's what the Lord revealed to me in that moment.
It's when we look at that scripture, when God says like, go and make disciples, he didn't say go to church every Sunday.
No, he didn't. And he said that we are the church as well. The building structure is something man-made.
Yeah.
He broke that. He broke that when the veil was torn, saying that the temple is now not a temple, it's your body. That's where the Holy Spirit's going to be dwelling, not in these temples anymore. The church is people, not a building.
Yes.
Like, I don't know why. I mean, I think it's good to have a gathering and a place together. But almost shouldn't call it a church. Should almost call it just Christian gathering or something like that.
Something that reminds us like this is just where you like go and fellowship. You know? It's where we should see our brothers and sisters and be encouraged by one another. But even that, we should be encouraged, edified by one another.
Yeah.
Why do we spend an entire service hearing from one person? Is that
That's
biblical?
so true.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, to like do those studies of like, I have very opinionated, I'm very opinionated on it. Like, I don't think that a pastor, his job, his role, when God said that you have the gift of teacher, you have the gift of priest.
Well, pastors fill almost all those roles. They have too much on their plate.
Yes.
That was not what the design was.
It was not supposed to be that.
No,
It
we are
was
supposed
not,
to have pastors, but they're not also supposed to be the evangelist. They're not also supposed to be the musician. They're not also supposed to, we are supposed, like, you have pastors, and then you have the teachers, then you have the evangelists, and they're different people with different roles. Yeah, we put too much pressure on pastors.
we just put, again, we've made church to be too much pressure.
Yeah.
Even that, Pete Scazzaro, he's a fantastic teacher, used to be a pastor. He's recently retired, but he has this book called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. And he says that the rhythm in which we have when we bring new people to Christ, one of the reasons why it's so draining for us to disciple people is because they walk away eventually, or like you've poured how much time, how many hours, how much effort into this person only for them to what? Attain a little bit where you were hoping and expecting so much more. But because we have created this system of, oh, you're saved now, find a church. Okay, cool. You found a church now. Find a way in which to serve in that church. Okay, cool. Remember to keep dealing with your sin. Keep, like whatever is floating above. He like always likens our sin as like an iceberg.
Yeah.
What everybody sees, what everybody sees, that's easy to seek accountability for, to confess to. But what is everything underneath?
Yeah.
What is the story behind the story? Why are you doing this? Why is this such a struggle for you? So, but because you're plugged into a church and you're serving at a church and you're professing or confessing your sin, it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. So true discipleship is not actually happening because that's not what Jesus told us to do. He said, you are more than conquerors. You are inheritors of, you have my power now to go deliver people, you know? So when we plug ourselves into a church, serve at a church, now we're busy with more busy work. And then we're choosing not to look at our past and go, what is a generational sin that I need to break and not pass down? Or just look at why do I edge in this way? He says that our discipleship just becomes so stunted even for ourselves with the Lord.
Yeah.
Even though we fool ourselves at times thinking, well, I am going to church. I do sing worship songs. I do open up my
Tick
Bible.
all the boxes. Yeah. Yeah, you must be a Christian because you're ticking all the boxes.
Right.
Yeah, our whole view on obtaining salvation is sometimes you don't realize how much it's really slipped into works-based. But we are called so much more for that, more than that. We run like a Bible study every week, and it goes into verse by verse, going through just one chapter at a time, looking at the context. But one thing we do is we try and get somebody new to teach each week. There's no pastors coming. It's just people, just the church. And to be fair, I do teach most of the time, but that's because I'm always trying to get somebody else to teach as well. And we have had probably 50% of the time there's somebody else, but the other 50% is me. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm also not a pastor either, though. I'm not in any sort of leadership capacity at church or anything like that. And that shows that anyone can lead a small group, study, disciple. You don't have to go to your pastor to study and disciple. That's something you and I know so well in Thailand. The Thais, if they need prayer, they'll go to the pastor.
Yeah.
They won't just get somebody else in church or a fellow Christian to say, can you pray with me? And coming back to what we said before, you all have the potential. You're all built in the image of God. The pastor's got no more special prayer powers than you do.
Right.
You know, God's going to hear you just as much. So it's it's so important to recognize that. Did you want to go into what you're doing here now, or should we do that for a different episode?
I'll let you decide since you're the one that's been doing. You've been sitting.
No, I'm good. I'm just thinking of we could go into more of a deeper discussion on what you guys are doing now
Okay.
in a separate episode. More so that our listeners will be able to focus on your life for this one, and then you might want to send this episode to certain people about what you're doing here, and it skips all this part. Like they just want to know what you're doing here.
Okay.
I think that might be better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's carry on though with kind of you and your family. Do you find that there's a working that's outworking now for some sort of reconciliation with your family? Like, do you see anything that's happening, or is it more like just in no man's land at the moment?
At the moment, it's kind of like a no man's land. I do know that I do touch bases with like my older sister and my youngest sister. I do know that my family sees like the things that I'm posting. I am in touch with my grandparents, and but for the most part, like my family that I grew up with, it's no man's land at this time.
What are you praying for and hoping for?
I'm always hoping for reconciliation. I'm hoping, praying for healing, not just for myself, but for them. I know it's incredibly difficult to see around what is directly in your face. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with when you've got, like, my mom she's a lot, and she's always in.
How old is your mom now?
My mom is
60s?
60, 59. She'll be getting into 60. Yeah. My dad will be 61 this year.
So they're my parents' age, actually.
So they're still young.
They're still
young. There's still so much. So there's so much hope.
You'll probably meet my parents in about 7 weeks. They get here. Yeah.
That's so
Be cool. Yeah.
That will be. I won't
Okay.
say anything to your mom about.
You can. Please do. Bring it up. Tell her this might be your last time being in Thailand.
Soak it up while you can.
Yeah. She's such a lovely lady. I had basically the opposite. I think my mum was overly loving. I can share a funny story with you before we finish. So my mum hates me sharing this story, but it's awesome. So I used to go to Victory Church right until we moved out this way. But also back in New Zealand, I was going to a church called City Impact, and I was the drummer for probably 15 years. Okay. 3 times a week. You know, never really missed a week. And I got good at it. And when I was probably 18 or 17, I decided maybe I'll attempt to join the band as a singer, because I played the drums for a long time. I'm good at that. And my mum is great. She told me my whole life how good I am at playing the drums. Yes. And I think it's not prideful. I think she was right. I am a good drummer. I had many, many years playing. But I could also play the guitar a little bit, and I would play and sing the guitar. And I used to sing when I was real young. I would sing in front of my parents some of the worship songs just at home. And my mum would say, "Man, you've got such a good voice, like amazing singer, amazing guitar player." Yeah. Anything I did, she would tell me how good I am.
Oh, amazing, yes.
So I had this booming confidence my whole life because I had this amazing cheerleader, my mum. And then I went and auditioned for the band and said, I want to actually audition as a singer. And I've been the drummer for many, many years. I'd like to try out for singing. And the worship leader goes, okay. So I start singing, and when I stop, she goes, Joel, you are the worst singer I've ever heard in my entire life.
Nuh-uh.
Yep.
Just like straight up like that.
Yep. Straight up. In front of her.
You were the worst.
The worst. Like she's lucky. She said, "You're lucky Simon Cowell didn't hear this."
Oh.
And I was in total disbelief.
Yeah.
And I said, "But my mum said I can sing."
But my mom.
And then she just said, "She lied.
She lied.
She lied to you."
Again, straight up.
Straight up, she lied to you. And then, but this is where it gets real weird. Is now I'm processing this revelation that I'm
Right.
not good at something, thinking, what else am I not good at? My mum has told me I'm good at so many things.
Oh, no.
Now, am I a good drummer? Have you guys just been putting up with my terrible drumming this whole time?
Questioning everything now.
I can also snowboard and I'm like, what else do I think I'm good at that I'm not? So the moral of the story is, just because you're giving someone kindness by encouraging them, make sure that you're not deceiving them.
Yeah.
And my mum has done this in so much love. And I brought this story up because my friend went and he auditioned for the band as well. His name's Kyle. And he sang, and they just said that he's like, I never got a call back. He's like, and then the worship leader was a different lady, much more gentler than when I was doing it. And she said, look, I just don't think it's for you. And so I shared my story with him to make him feel better. I'm like, it's not you, bro. Don't worry. You're not the first one to get shut down. But yeah, the moral of the story is, like, as parents, as disciples in Christ, you've got to be able to do things in love like my mum did. She should have said, I love the fact that you're singing, but I think we need to guide your vocals with this teacher to get you really good.
Yeah.
She should have said something like that, because you get to this crushing point when you've been deceived for so long.
I love that question. What else? What
What else am I? And I'm like, this midlife crisis at 16 years old, and I'm like, I'm sure I was good at, like, people say I'm funny. Am I really funny? Like,
Oh my gosh.
people saying they like my cooking. Actually, nobody's ever said that. I'm a terrible cook. But
Oh my goodness.
it was funny, and my mum hates me sharing that story because she's been the best mum, like
She's
really
doing her job.
really encouraging,
Yeah.
and she hates it because I say it in a way that she was doing a negative thing. And in one sense she was, but she was doing it in such a loving way.
It is interesting. As parents, of course, your kids are the best at everything.
She might have thought that. Maybe she did.
Exactly.
Blinded by the love for her son.
I love it. Working in youth ministry for as many years as Josh and I did, that also did help us get to that point with our kids. Once they became teenagers, of like, okay, we're not gonna make this look pretty for you.
Yeah. So you guys are honest, but in a loving way.
We're honest. Yes. Actually, we had somebody greatly compliment. I took it as a huge compliment because of my upbringing, because of my desire to do different, be different. Josh, his biggest desire was just to be a good dad, And yesterday, sitting in a meeting, we were told, you guys, what you do, even though you don't agree with everything that everybody does, the way in which you guys choose to bring it up, and I've watched you because the way that you treat your kids is how you treat people. You have this ability to show them, I'm going to respect you by listening to you.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to respect you with telling you the truth, or giving you my own opinion. And then let's work on finding that compromise, Yeah. And that's how we do treat our kids. That we do have to remind them from time to time, like, hey, we know we allow you to speak in this way, but you have to remember we are your parents. We are not your best friends.
Yeah.
Later on in life, that may switch up a little bit, but right now you are under our covering. You need to submit, you know?
Yeah, so good.
But we look at Jesus, truth and love.
Truth and love.
He spoke truth and love,
Yep.
not flattery, which as parents, that is so easy to
Unless
do.
it's truthful flattery, but yeah, it's lying flattery. Yeah, because our prime minister, our old prime minister Jacinda Ardern, terrible prime minister, caused trillions of dollars in debt for our country. Her slogan was to be kind.
Be kind.
At the expense of anything, basically. So it was, even if someone is at the expense of you not saying the truth,
Yeah.
as long as you're kind. You're allowed to lie to someone as long as you do it nicely.
As long as you do it nicely.
It's like, are you kidding me?
No.
That's basically the world we've got to now.
Yeah.
But let's go back to a final question before we wrap up. Someone that's in a similar position to your story. They've got family members that they're struggling to connect with. They might be an offense there. I trust you've left the door open for reconciliation.
Yes.
What's your advice to people that are like, I don't even know where to start with connecting and reconciling with my brother, my sister, my mum, my dad? What's your advice to somebody like that?
Like how do I even begin that? Yeah, that's a good question. Always in prayer. God knows exactly where they're at. He knows their hearts better than you can possibly imagine. So always that prayer, always looking for those doors of like, where would God have me step in? When you're trying to figure out how to reconcile with someone, you're an open wound, essentially, right? Like your desperation to fix things can sometimes get in the way of actually fixing things. There were times that I would walk through the front door into my family's house. I chose to be there. I chose to seek out relationship with them. But I would go in expecting a fight or expecting some sort of blow up. I didn't want it to go that way, but just kind of having that body posture was felt. And so it's the same as when you are in that raw place and so desperate to fix things. So my biggest piece of advice would be always that prayer. And then do your best to be vulnerable, but not be in a place of that desperation where you feel like you have to force it. Allow the Holy Spirit to really move, knowing the Holy Spirit knows exactly what needs to be done, needs to be said. For me, it is the small acts of love. It is showing up to my nephew's baseball games or my niece's plays or showing up to a baby shower, even if it's not the best situation. It's trying to find those moments of speaking truth in love, but not hounding on that truth, not being that Bible thumper. Like, we need to figure this out now because I can't worship God until this is figured out. That's not, God will release you from that. He knows your heart also, right? That's a difficult question because, of course, every situation is different.
Yeah. But
when you know that the Lord has you and you know that you've placed boundaries that protect yourself, boundaries with grace, it does ease. It eases those moments. It's going to be awkward. You're maybe not going to get as far into a conversation as you were hoping to get. But again, one of the beautiful pictures that we had of the Lord when he was trying to reconcile his Father to his people was that he chose to sit in the tension. He chose to sit in the awkward moments again and again and again. It takes time.
That's true. Yeah.
Healing takes time. And that's what discipleship is, truly. Yeah. It's not this magic, switch. I suppose it's recognizing that the Lord
made a comparison to us with sheep.
Yeah.
So remember your brother, sister, mother, father, the comparison applies to them too. They're not we're all not smart. We're all very, very silly creatures. Can be easily deceived and easily manipulated by many things. So it's kind of keeping everything through a light of grace, because we all actually need it.
Yeah.
Like nobody's exempt from, everyone can be deceived.
Yeah.
So it's like, be okay with having grace for people, because they might be just doing dumb things for dumb sake.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a moment in my life where the Lord brought me to, he's like, all right, you understand unconditional love. Beautiful. All right, that's what I have for you. Apply it. Now I'm going to teach you about unconditional forgiveness.
Wow.
I'm like, I know what you're saying to me, Lord.
Yeah.
I know immediately what you're saying to me, and I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I understand unconditional love, like love. I get that. That leads you to that point of sacrificing yourself. But unconditional forgiveness, you're telling me, I know what that means, because that is over and over.
It's one thing to sacrifice yourself for someone you love. It's another thing to have someone you love do something you hate to you.
Yes.
Wow. So the Lord's been working that through with you?
Yeah, that was I think year 3 in my marriage, and so that was a while
like
ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah, and I really thought like, oh, this is for my family, because it was like, that was like a super raw
No, it's
moment.
for my husband.
It was for my husband.
Oh, I was kidding.
No, literally that day,
Oh, wow.
there was a big thing that happened that day, but I learned how to apply that, not just to my husband, because that moment arose, but also to my family, to myself, to the situations.
It's a ongoing, how Jesus, the Lord forgave us in the state that we were in, without us ever trying to fix ourselves. He forgave us, and in the sinner's state, the nature of sin. Who are we to not forgive others?
Yes.
You can't receive that forgiveness and then not dish it out.
Give it, yeah.
It's thank you, Erica. We'll finish up there, but I just wanted to pull up episode 213 for anybody who wants to listen to Joshua's testimony. Go check out episode 213. That's the other half of Erica. So thank you, Erica, for joining us on the Jesus Magnet. It was awesome to have you. Yeah, and I hope we'll do another session if you can, and we'll do it about your life in Thailand, why God brought you here, the amazing things you and your husband are doing, and how people can connect with you through that. But also, based off that, is there a way for people, this is just a sneak peek for what's to come, but if people are hearing your story and that now they know you're a missionary here in Thailand, is there a way for them to connect with you prayerfully, financially, and in any way to, just to be partner with your mission?
Yeah.
And we'll put it in the description below.
Yes, for sure. We can do that.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
No, it's great. Awesome. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Jesus Magnet.